Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of Formula One with Chauncey. That's right, we just had the Singapore Grand Prix, and it was epic, and it was sad, and it was grand, as they all are, but absolutely, it was an experience. Let's talk about it. I'm here with the boys. Big Bird.
It happened. It happened. Max Verstappen lost. Spoilers.
He did.
That's a shame. I was hoping that person were to do another point score unit.
He was going to keep the world record going, and he did not. He broke the world record and then did not proceed any further.
Obviously, that's a shame.
Wait, where are you starting on the grid?
7th.
Oh, that's not accurate.
No,
Oh, and they have
started
Ricardo
on-
in there. That's not accurate either. Oh,
No.
we can't perfectly recreate the race
And
now.
Lance Stroll is also in it, and he was out because he crashed into the wall in qualifying. He went out in Q1.
Probably trying to avoid one of the lizards that was on the track.
Dude,
Yes.
thank you for driving in Florida.
Godzilla's son.
Alright. So, do the recap, Chauncey. Go.
Basically, the Red Bulls got out to Singapore and they tried their hardest. They were drifting all over the track. It was not a good time. It was not good for them. So they basically went out there, they tried, and it wasn't good. Like, it was just not the track for them. So they did the best they could. What was really amazing, though, was Max started in 11th, and then he came up. Ooh, I might get penalized for that. I hope not. He came up clawed his way up to 2nd with a safety car, and then he got stuck. I mean, he couldn't fight. He couldn't fight for the position up there, and he fell back down. He had to pit, fell back down to like 16th, and he clawed his way back up to, I think he ended in 6th or 7th overall. So, I mean, he still got a lot out of the car for as awful as it was this last weekend, if that makes any sense. And it's a hard circuit. There's lots of turns. They're really tight turns. It's a street circuit, so the pavement is not ideal. Like, it's not great. It's tight. Like, there's not a lot of room for the cars to maneuver, and they're sharp 90-degree turns. So it's a very difficult circuit, and he's actually never won it. Max has never won the Singapore Grand Prix ever. So it was a good weekend. And then Carlos Sainz, he started in P1 and he ended in P1. He did an excellent job. Lando Norris clawed up to 2nd. And it was an absolute battle for the top 3, top 4, all the way to the very last lap. On the very last lap, George Russell clipped the wall in the last turn, or second to last turn, and then he, like, right there at that turn actually, and he pins it into the wall, and he doesn't cross the finish line. It was so sad. And so Lewis Hamilton got 3rd. But it was amazing. You had Carlos Sainz in the front, and Ferrari comes on the radio, and they're like, Lando Norris is 0.8 seconds behind, be careful. And Carlos is like, that's intentional. And so what he was doing was he was keeping Lando in his DRS zone so that he could fight off the Mercedes behind him. And that let Lando have enough DRS to stay in front of the Mercedes, but not enough that he would overtake Carlos. And he's driving very defensively. Carlos is driving very defensively to keep Lando behind him. It was really, really beautiful, tough, real racing all the way to the end. It was a great Grand Prix to watch, even though the Red Bulls did not do well.
it was a some it was pretty much just it was a race of tires. So keeping your
Yeah.
tires, making tire
Oh,
decisions, and saving
oh,
as much
God.
rubber as you can.
Oh, come on.
Ooh,
Yes.
oh! You pulled the Mercedes guy at the very end there.
I did. I pulled a George Russell. Oh my gosh, I saw a meme today that was like, you're not a real racing driver when you quit going for the gap. And like he hit like the GAP in Singapore, like dead on with like the nose of the car. And it's like, that's not the gap you were supposed to hit, Russell. It
Well,
was actually
yeah,
right here in that turn where he went off.
because
But yeah.
yeah, his nose landed right where Singapore fell gap.
Yep. It's really hilarious.
All right, so we can go into the tires, Chauncey. What was the big deal with the tires? Everything that happened there? Why certain things happened with Red Bull and their tire strategy that ended up not paying out?
Oh, okay. So Singapore, we had the softest tires in the compound range. So there's 5 different tire compounds that Pirelli could use at any of the races. And so they pick like ahead of time. They look at what the race course like looks like. What does the racetrack look like? What does the weather look like? And they decide what kind of tires they're going to bring. Softest or hardest. There's 5 to choose from. And so they chose the softest ones in the range. But then you have, and then they mark them red, yellow, and white. The whites being hardest, yellows mediums, red softest. For anybody that doesn't and is not familiar with the tires and how they work. So most people went out on softs if they were trying to move up a couple positions really quickly at the start of the race, or they went out on mediums if they were happy with their position and were trying to defend and stay in front. So what Red Bull did, and actually Valtteri Bottas did as well, they went out on hards, and that was because they were trying to not have to pit, and so they could stay out longer while everybody else went to pit, and then they could stay in front. And what they were trying to do was get Max Verstappen up to the front and into clean air, and then he could just do what I'm doing and just like stay way out in front. That was the goal, but it never happened. They got a safety car in the, I don't know, about the 20th lap, and it was just like really bad timing. A lot of people got to go in for fresh tires, and they probably should have gone in for fresh tires. He did move up to 2nd position, and Perez I think moved up to 3rd or 4th, and but they couldn't fight with people that had just pitted for fresh tires. It just didn't work out for them, so they fell back down in the positions, and then they're required to make a pit. So when they did finally pit, they fell way back to the back of the pack. I think Perez was in last and Verstappen was in 16th. It just was not a good weekend.
So you think if they actually if they pitted during that safety car, it went to like mediums like everyone else did, he could have potentially done better?
Maybe. I think the safety car fucked him over, and then I also think that the safety car fucked him over.
He didn't get to Q3 for qualifying, which was the optimal figuring out your tire range stuff in practice. So it seemed like he didn't know what best tire combination the car was going to have, and he ended up liking the mediums when he finally did pit. And so I think he would have had to pit a second time if he went during the first safety car, but I think he liked and was more comfortable with the car on mediums, and so he potentially could have done better. I think he made a podium, but I don't think he would have gotten first with that.
Yeah, I think his problem, and even while he was at on the race, even with the mediums or the hards, he was struggling. The car was slipping out behind him. He really was drifting. and losing the rear. Like, he really didn't have grip in the rear, and like he didn't have it like at all. So I think that was his biggest issue, Max's biggest issue. So I don't know that changing to mediums would have really helped him, in my opinion.
And then there's also a lot of people blaming the fact that there's a tech change before. Remember that it was the differential wings could no longer be used, or spoilers or whatever, something like that. Can't remember the exact thing.
So there's
Future
a lot
Mike
of
will probably put it in there. Do
yeah.
you think that affected it with their aerodynamics and like keeping the
Oh.
tire down for maybe better traction?
Yes, I think that's part of it. That their system they have a very complex aerodynamic system. Oh, corner cutting. And there was a tech change, and basically my understanding of it is that it's to crack down on flexibility in the front and rear wings. And there's a lot of teams that have more flexibility than they should on those wings. So it's just, I don't know. It might be affecting, might not be.
I'll tell you, you think there's just like some compounding stuff just led to Red Bull just not having it this one, or does Verstappen have a Singapore curse on him?
Could be a Singapore curse. Could be compounding factors. I think compounding factors are just as likely as anything else.
Any predictions for Japan? Think they're going to be better?
Max is going to win it. Max is going to win it. It's going to be back to business as usual. It's going to be great.
So what about Ferrari? They were the butt of all the jokes and the memes, and now the internet seems to have changed their impression of them. And
but I think what's awesome about Ferrari though is that like their drivers are taking over, and they're just like, this is what's best, and this is what I'm going to do, and they're kind of fuck me.
Wait, a Mercedes.
Dude, you're not taking the U-turn super well.
I know that turn right there is like a pain in the ass.
It's really interesting seeing this in the game, just seeing how long their straights really were, and then how tight these turns really are. Like shit like that. You're trying to pass, go straight in there, and then you just couldn't turn. That actually happened to the fucking Alonso. What's his name? Aston Martin. He was being ballsy and went straight off into one of those side gaps, I think right around there. And then he had to do like a 3-point turnaround, and that did another virtual safety car.
And I mean, Alonso's been around for forever. Like, he's been around since the early 2000s. He's been it for 20 years. Like, he raced at this track when it like first debuted in like 2008. And so, I mean, he loves this track, but it was not a good race for him.
And Aston Martin in general, because the other driver in qualifying wrecked pretty hard.
Had that wreck.
So he had no support. It was just him in a new version of the Singapore track. He hadn't been. They took away some turns.
Yeah, so they took out 4 corners.
Yeah. Maybe he was just shaken up too, or he was just afraid of lizards in another wreck.
It's just a pain to have to pass in here because it's so tight. But it's a street race.
That's why people were saying it's a game of tires and lasting longer, and the last 10 laps where it actually got exciting because there's only a couple straightaways you can pass, and it's just pretty much who's gonna wreck or have tire issues first in traction. Because I'm on the opinion of a lot of people, it was a really boring race except for like the last 10 laps.
See, I don't think it's boring the whole way through, but yeah, it was.
I mean, but you're also a math teacher who finds math fun, so there's like just differences in personality in general.
fair.
I mean, I appreciate the engineering stuff and what they were trying to do. It's very cool. It's just not fun to watch. Like, I love golf, playing it, and I like the science of golf. But God fucking damn it, is it boring to watch sometimes?
Yeah, unless you're just like watching the highlights, and then that's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, before so back to Ferrari. So fucking Signs or whatever, the guy who won.
Yes.
He went on summer, had like a therapy session or something, and like some like driving steroids. Came back and has just become like a god behind that in that Ferrari car. What do you think? He's posing some real?
He is. I think he could. Carlos is a great driver. He used to be on Max's team back in the Toro Rosso days. Before Max went to like Red Bull racing. They were team. I mean, he's a great driver. And he's just like full of confidence right now. And I think he's got a handle on a Ferrari car because it has some quirks. Oh, what the fuck! That turn. Fucking fair. Oh. Put me back
Well, you're
where I
back
was.
11th. You gotta pull the real Verstappen. Get up to 5th.
6. God.
So you're 6th.
fuck?
Ooh. Way to go! Immediately.
I'm an 8. God damn it.
Long game.
So, I think he's full of confidence right now, and I think that is fantastic, and I want to see where he can go, and I think he's just, like, at one with the car right now. All the cars have, like, little quirks and things that, like, make them unique and can make them very difficult to drive. And, like, Lando is really bought into McLaren, and I think that's why I don't, like, believe a lot of the, like, Lando's gonna move to Red Bull thing. Unless Red Bull gave him a great offer or McLaren like shafts him. Like, I think he's gonna stay because he's so invested in McLaren and their development cycles where like he's not with Red Bull. And he knows that if he were to go to Red Bull, well, obviously our hero Verstappen is like gonna be, he's the guy. That's who the car is built around, and it's built around his driving style, not Lando's. So, and he would have to learn a whole new quirky car. So I think that's what Sainz has done, is he's learned a quirky car, the Ferrari, and he's figured it out, and he's just on top of the world right now and full of confidence. Oh, I'm not gonna make it.
I mean, if you dabble in the dark side like Lando does, I mean, that's what happens. You get betrayed.
Hey, you ever seen Rogue One? Lando likes dabbling those robots. There was a lot of implied weirdness with the robot character there. I think he can get into it with a lot of machinery and cars.
Very technically sound, as you will.
Come on, Piastri. You pass.
Okay, so then I guess
waiting to
on
talk
that.
about Lando forever. Sorry.
Yeah.
I've been holding that in for like 15 minutes now.
Sorry.
So I guess on those lines, then who do you think is going to be Verstappen's partner next year? I think it's gonna say Perez, or if it wasn't Perez, who do you think would be the best?
I think it's gonna be Perez. Like, I know as much as like Perez has got like a lot of shit this year for not being as good as he should. He has like done some great drives and he's really brought himself back up. And it's really hard to be the number 2 guy. It's really hard to be that guy that like you know that you're not gonna be the guy in line for the win. And that's hard. So I think it's going to be Perez. Right now, Ricciardo's has a guaranteed seat at AlphaTauri. Whether that means that they're gonna do some like swapping around, like Red Bull's known to do, I don't know. But Ricardo has the AlphaTauri seat, which means that Yuki and Liam Lawson are battling out for second place. And
he really?
We'll just see.
When did he get the guarantee? Was that? Because I felt like there was talk from the announcers during the race. Oh, it came today?
It was today. Yeah.
Oof. So that was going to be, I was kind of hoping you would say Lawson, or if you did want Perez, because he did some great stuff. Go ahead and talk about that.
I think Lawson would be a great number 2, but I think Red Bull is hesitant because the last time that they've brought up like a green driver like that to sit next to Verstappen, like Verstappen eats him alive. Like, to be the number 2 guy, like, you really have to have a lot of confidence in yourself and be okay being number 2 and not winning. And like, while I think Lawson is great, and there's like, AlphaTauri has no pressure. Like, to be an AlphaTauri, like, if you just make it through the race, like, they celebrate it. So it's a great like training ground, and I think Liam would need to have some more time there before moving up. I think Yuki's had enough time to move up, but I don't know if his attitude towards the sport is like meets Red Bull. Like, he's very passive towards the sport, and I feel like, and that won't fly for Red Bull. They want somebody that wants to like eat, breathe, live, die racing, and that's Max. They want a second Max, and there's just not a second Max.
I would say that's where I was saying, like, I think Lawson as the rookie and then showing the great talent that he did, feel like they could mold him into a second Max.
I think that's entirely possible.
A backseat.
Fuck me, this fucking turn.
And then speaking of Yuki, poor Yuki. I mean, he had some shit luck, and if with Daniel Ricciardo getting the guarantee and Lawson beating out Max Verstappen in qualifying, knocking him out of Q3, the fact that he got in the points in the race, I think Yuki is in real trouble. Even though Yuki got the like fastest lap thing in qualifying, he still also didn't finish, even though that was potentially Max's fault. And then he like dumped out like the very beginning of the race, which was probably the car's fault. But Yuki doesn't seem like, and like you said, with that passive attitude towards the sport, maybe he's just not gonna make it.
He might not make it, and it'd be really sad. Like, I think Yuki's pretty cool, but I'd be really cool to see Liam Lawson. I'd be really good to see Liam Lawson in that second seat beside Daniel. But I don't like Daniel. I think Daniel's an idiot. And I don't know why everybody likes Daniel. Like, I really don't see what they see in Daniel, like, whatsoever.
They like his personality with Max. They like his smile. They like he can be silly, and they like that he has a couple wins under his belt.
Well, I mean,
so it's more the fact that he's entertaining and has potentially proved himself, even though he seems like he's been pretty shit since a while.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think he's that impressive. But I don't think he's done anything that's ever that impressive. Like, other than he gets up there and he smiles. That's it. Fuck me! This fucking turn. I just clawed up from this position, and I'm gonna claw back up again. Like, fuck my life.
Tell you what, the virtual Red Bull car is performing a hell of a lot better than the real one.
It is, although it is a bit squirrely. My back end is a bit squirrely. I did do the updates, like I've noticed, like after every real race, like it updates, and it like updates the track that like just happened for whatever it was that just happened, and so
they made the car squirrely.
I think maybe they might have. and I'm falling so far behind.
Any other noteworthy events? People that didn't make in the race, crazy accidents, anything like that?
Alonso came in last. He had a number of issues. George had his crash. Yuki had a crash. His car stopped working. It was really sad. And then I don't think there was anything else really that happened. Gosh, Hulkenberg.
What about?
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Ferrari?
at the beginning. So at the launch, Hamilton is in 5th place, and he does this outrageous move. He just doesn't even brake going into the first corner, and he just straight up is I'm just gonna cut this corner. And he overtakes Norris, and he overtakes George Russell. And George Russell comes on, and he's on the radio. He's like, is he gonna give that back? And Hamilton, a lap later, decides to give the position back, and then Norris is like, if he's gonna give Russell this position back, he needs to give me mine. How can I not make this turn? He needs to give me the position back. And it took the stewards making Hamilton give the position back, and Hamilton then had the audacity to say, Norris pushed me off the track. And it's like, bro, you didn't even brake. You just straight up bulldozed through and overtook 2 people. What a whiny bitch.
He also told the guy in front of him, the other Mercedes guy, to hurry up when he was in P3.
Yeah.
Before he got into his accident and whatnot, he's tell him to hurry up. And they didn't show the wall clipping thing. And when we were watching it, and we see him go, tell him to hurry up, and then that accident happens, we're did Lewis just fucking sacrifice this person just so he could get in a podium? So Lewis hasn't been on the podium
what it looked like.
for 7 races or some shit, right? He's had a pretty bad slump. And we were did this guy really, with his ego and trying to break this fucking losses, just destroy his teammate? And then they finally came out and said no, he clipped the wall and then went in to the barriers. It's okay, but we were oh, there's no. It's I could totally see Lewis sacrificing a teammate.
And you know what? That's really sad. You shouldn't think that about a driver, but because we think that, what does that mean about him? You know? And it's just ugh. But yeah, he did clip the wall, and they did show the clip. I've seen it online a whole bunch. Oh, George Russell is out of the session. Did he hit the gap?
Oh no, he cut it in the virtual space. And Lando is in first. He was in 7th or something.
He did make second. He made second though.
Oh, Norris made second. Oh, that's
okay.
Oh, Piastri was the one that was there. Okay.
It was a very different outcome. Yeah, it was definitely a different starting grid. I wish it would start you automatically in the starting grid, but.
So maybe that proves there's something to the whole starting grid thing. How important it is.
Oh, there absolutely is, and how difficult it is to Okay.
Powered by Amazon.
Okay.
So there was a lot of virtual safety cars. What is a virtual safety car?
Nobody's going to overtake, and they're all going to slow down like it's a safety car, but there's not actually a safety car out there. So they have a little bit more freedom to not have to go behind the real safety car.
But how come the announcers kept saying if it was a real safety car, maybe they could do something here, blah 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 for strategy? Why is it the fact that it's a virtual one that they can't do the same sneaky stuff?
I believe the virtual one, they don't get a free pit, but if it's a real safety car, they can pit and then they can come back out in their same position.
Obviously, Mike, if it's virtual, they get told on by Facebook if they skip in line.
It's all in the metaverse, yeah, and they got
God,
If you
this
overtake
fucking
someone, we will
Dude,
give
turn.
you
credit card
suck at
free
this
online.
turn. You are
This-
0 for 15 on that fucking turn. You're garbage.
Is that the actual turn that like fucking what's his name kept crashing on?
I don't think so.
No, because
No,
it was
he
like right
crashed on the
before the
last
finish
turn.
line.
He crashed on the last turn. Gosh, now I'm back down in 8th, and I'm gonna pit, and I'm gonna like.
Just you gotta brake before the turns, Chauncey.
You gotta take them wide like the green lines say to take them. You're taking that. You take that shit like a pencil straight.
I am taking the green line. It's just
No.
not good.
You're watching the blue boy that's following. You're like, I'll follow the blue guy instead. That's obviously
Yeah, well,
not
she's pitting.
on the track. Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm pitting.
I was about to say, your friend.
His parent, the
kidding.
racetrack's the other line. What are you doing?
I was like, you're struggling before, but that was oof.
I had to go pit.
Oh man, the Hard Rock Cafe.
That's what the bottle inside the cabin's for. If you
Why do
pit,
they
you
have me
pit
pit?
inside the bottle.
Pit inside the bottle. Okay, so this leads to another thing for back to qualifying. Yeah, Max, 2 impediment penalties that didn't really go through, I guess, for
Yeah, they did.
starting position. Any thoughts on that? Any recounting what they were for the audience?
So they said that he was impeding Sonoda, and that he was sitting in the pit lane and was keeping cars from going out when there wasn't any like traffic out on the course. And it was actually pretty funny because his engineer came on and was like, Max, and he's like about to say that like I'm waiting for traffic, and he ended up, and like GP like kept him from saying that because then it would have been a penalty, but he instead said, oh,
no,
the car is
the
ready to go now.
microphone cut out right in time before he said it, and then the GP like heard that it cut out and jumped in on trying to like cover for him.
What in the hell? What was that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Light.
Let's say, but you're still taking that shit as close to that left side as you could possibly take it, Chauncey. I've watched you do it every time. Don't say I'm taking it correctly when you're not taking it correctly.
Okay, I'm gonna pay really close attention to it. I need to
You're
pass
0
in
in
very much
16.
guidelines for
Oh.
you.
0 in 16 for that turn. You follow the line so well until you're like, oh, I see it's turning left. I'll hold the left real close and turn to cut a little bit. And it's always that turn. You're like, oh wait, this is the turn. Fuck.
Oh man, you're fighting Alonso for last. Now it is more like the real one. Yeah. So according to the rules for the penalty audience, I guess in the pit lanes you can never ever brake for anything. Like you can never stop or something. So why didn't they give him the penalty?
Because he said that, oh, the car is ready to go now, as if the car, like he was waiting for something on the car, and
as
so
if like
that
the
he
car
wasn't
had an
just
issue.
Right.
Instead
So,
of
as if
instead of
it-
I'm waiting for traffic, that's right. The engineer
Right.
tried to be like, oh, we look at that and it's all clear now, or something like that. He tried to say
Exactly.
it was a car fault that got fixed.
Exactly. So that, because it looked like he was waiting for traffic to clear, or he was waiting for, which I mean that's what he was doing. He was waiting for like clear air in front of him, and like he can't do
Nobody
that.
really bought it. I don't know why.
You know
they
what? That
didn't.
turn, that line is like right on fucking top of it. They're not going wide. They're like eating on the turn. I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy. You just don't take the turn well.
I don't. I don't. I just shoved the Haas into the wall.
Yeah, but no one cares about Haas. People were making jokes about how they were in like Q3 of qualifying and how the Red Bull wasn't, and then they did pretty shit on the actual race.
Well, I mean, qualifying is so different than the actual race. Like, that's what we've always come to like find a monkey. So, see, I made it through those turns just fine.
Well, that's good.
I can turn.
We only had to tell you 14 of the 16 laps.
I'm trying.
And that is the first time it happened.
I'm trying to do all signs.
Oh,
what are you
my.
doing, signs?
That boy got pitted. He was a policeman for a second. So you had literally 3 grams of marijuana in your car. You got pitted.
Well, they're all European F1 drivers. They probably smelt it and were trying to get some.
Well, that's the thing. They've never seen it before. They're like, I know you have it. You literally got pitted, and the guy jumps out of his F1 car just to snag your little tiny baggie like under your nutsack.
Mm-hmm.
What
Dude,
are you doing?
you are literally being shit on like you're a convict with a stolen vehicle. Are you okay?
Not okay.
So didn't something
boy.
like oh, is there the safety car? Oh, the game broke.
He's just stuck upside down.
Okay, I passed.
They're all just piled up there. The AI is broken. It doesn't know what to do.
You got
Oh,
lucky.
resume racing. Oh, you literally just fucking. That's how Lando Norris apparently didn't he do that during qualifying, or there was talk about him getting a lap in during a yellow flag, where the yellow flag hadn't actually hit.
Yes, that's what had happened. Lance Stroll had gone into the wall. He actually did it right here. He also hit the wall right there, just like George Russell did. And what had happened was oh my gosh, I just made it into first. Look at that fucking shit.
Yeah, they're all
Back where
pitting.
I belong.
You get so pitted.
So
Every time.
Stroll goes into the wall, and it sucked. And Lando and Piastri were both coming around the corner right as it happened and right after it happened, and so the yellow flag hadn't come out yet, and they both had to make evasive maneuvers at the last minute to not. So it was interesting.
To the dark side.
Alonso was game.
So what happened with Perez? Did you ever find out if they gave him the penalty for points at the end? Because
No, they didn't.
He basically tried. It looked like he may have done a bit of a pitting maneuver that they've been doing to you this whole game, where his
Look,
front.
I just went fucking
wheel
wide,
into a
and
back
wide
wheel.
was not the solution.
Okay, if wide's not the solution, you're going too fast, you goober. There's only 2 things that you could possibly do. Turn and go less fast. Case closed. Court
Okay.
adjourned.
Or the car just doesn't like to turn.
Okay, well that's also a possibility, but then you chose the wrong car.
Jeff told you she went with Ferrari.
Maybe.
She's a ride or die Red Bull girl.
I like
When was
their
the last time
atmosphere.
you even had a Red Bull?
I actually don't like
She-
Red Bull to drink.
Okay,
Yeah, when
well
she
there
did
you
the
have
energy
it.
drink, she did monstrous.
Yep.
Wonder why she got kidney stones. Drinking 5 monsters a day
I never did that.
for 75 years. That's what'll happen.
How old do you think I am?
75 years. I think I'm old. You ever seen their face in the thumbnails or videos? She's looking good for 75.
She ages like an Asian woman.
Like a fine wine.
She turned 76. Well, bam! Wrinkled and short.
All's good until 75, and then all hell breaks loose 75 and a half and up. Meanwhile, most Americans age like Mexican food.
Scarf down and turn to shit.
Or left out and it sucks in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Do you see how tight that like turn is?
Yeah,
on it?
but did you
Like,
see how
go
you were
slower.
see how it was red the whole
rock
turn?
It was
If you were
not. I
doing-
was braking on it.
But you didn't brake soon
You're
enough because
supposed
the
to-
whole
you're
turn
supposed
was
to brake where
red.
it's red. You're supposed to brake where it's red.
Yeah, and did you realize how the entirety of that failed turn it was red while you were turning?
Oh my
If
gosh.
it's not working, maybe you have to do before the red.
I'm trying to brake before it's red, and you know what? It sounds really terrible. I'm 20 laps in, and I really can't remember. I really.
Can't
Oh my
remember the
gosh.
track.
My guy is coming in my ears like,
Yeah,
gotta
how?
stop.
There's no fucking way you're about to say that out loud.
I'm like, yeah, no, really, I cannot remember where that corner is at. Like, I am looking
You've
for
watched
it.
it on TV. You've talked about it in real life. You're playing it in virtual life. Like,
Yeah.
what part of you is forgetting the same exact U-turn that you fuck up?
The problem is that it looks like all the other ones. And
No,
I
it
can't.
doesn't. It looks like the specific one where all the red shit cuts hard right after the little chicane.
Actually,
Like,
it cuts
what?
like hard left, and I
Robert,
really
I'm
can't.
I'm half paying attention and I know exactly where it's at. What? I've watched you fail it 20 times in a row. I know exactly where it's at.
Hey, I've made it a couple times in the beginning.
No! No! Shut up! Shut your lying
beginning,
mouth!
no, you
You've
did not.
lied! You've made none of them!
This
You
one, that
lose
one's not it, but it's also a hard
Position
left
every
turn.
time it comes up.
Well, wait. I'll tell you, you're gonna complain and then you're gonna fuck it up again and you'll be like, but it was just hard.
It's not that
Something
one.
else happened that time with the 22nd lap in a row. Something else happened.
And see, it's all like the Rolex.
Here it
stuff,
is,
and
right here. I'm warning you. Wee woo, wee woo.
Look, I
Thank you for braking, and you took it
Oh,
perfectly. Oh my god!
You were nice and slow and you got it.
I even wee wooed and you fucking made it. You know what? I'll take
Alright,
MVP of the
for
whole
the
map.
next 10 laps, you got a wee woo before that turn.
I'm playing RuneScape. Like, for anyone that cares, I'm really sad I died on my hardcore this morning. I'm really fucking sad. But I will continue on, and I'm just, yeah, I will, if that's what I have to do right now. I know no one cares
Well,
about my
I'll play,
RuneScape account, but the one guy that does, shout out to you, buddy.
It's been over 30 minutes if you gotta get going, Chauncey. That's all.
Well,
She
she's,
doesn't finish the race.
if she
I
would have
finished
finished
the I'm
raced,
now.
Oh.
I'm invested.
I say if she would have raced faster, she would have been done already.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what's the best lap here? A 149? Oh man, the actual laps in the race were like
It's a half hour.
12 seconds quicker. It was like a 137, 136 was the fastest.
132, I think.
Wow. Maybe even 131. I can't remember.
They were going really quick around the course, but there's a lot of track evolution here. So I mean, the track gets better the more racing that's happening on it.
Or it gets safer.
Well, not for George
because-
Russell.
Yeah. What is the one of the facts about this track? There's always like a safety car.
Chicane,
There's never not a
chicane,
safety
brake,
car or
brake,
something.
brake.
Wee woo, wee woo.
What are you doing, Alonso?
Hey, oh, he wanted it.
I can't believe it fucking worked 2 laps in a row.
You know, to be completely honest, I have no fucking clue when that corner's coming up either.
But
thank you.
I've watched it 20 times in a row. How can neither of you know where it's at?
I've been staring at a video uploading, making sure the audio doesn't break again, and thinking of questions
fair.
for Chauncey to answer to keep the video going. I have not really been focusing on the track.
That's fair.
And when you're watching the race in real life, they switch camera views worse than Chris switch camera views in our videos. Like, you have no fucking clue where you are on the track.
True.
Yeah, you really don't from watching the race. I have a 6-second time penalty. I have to put 6 seconds between me and Alonso, or I'm gonna fall down to like 4th.
I mean,
That
well,
would
if you
be-
would just drive the course, yeah, you wouldn't.
Yeah, that would.
Know what I'm saying?
I don't know how actually interesting it would be, but kind of want to watch a like F1 race without them like showing me the track beforehand or like where they are in positions, and just see if I can draw out what the track was based on all the camera angles they show me.
Dude, you look like a schizophrenic patient. What do you mean?
It would be like 1,000 corners and no straights, because that's all they ever do is show
Literally,
you, like corners.
you would just be drawing a horseshoe.
You'd be a horseshoe with a bunch of S's and squiggles around it, like.
It'd be it's a wee woo.
No. Oh my god.
Made it.
All Rob had to do was just like absolutely shit on you for that corner hard enough with enough anger, and now you finally are doing it.
I hate to be that guy.
It's
Also,
great.
not only you can entirely forget where it's at. If you look at your mini map at any given time in the race,
It
you know
tells you
exactly
that
where
when
it's
that hard
at because the
corner's coming up.
DMS
Yeah.
green circle is before the turn. Like I mean,
You know how hard it is to like look down at the mini map and like keep an eye on like all the like stats down there at the bottom and drive the car? Like it's really difficult.
We'll go with like. I mean, if you're just gonna flick it, little.
I mean,
I'm just
not doing that.
We just gotta see how good you'll get with all the videos of this we'll be recording.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm getting
One of these
better.
you have to do by yourself. We're literally not supposed to be here.
Well,
Just saying.
Yeah, so
This was supposed to be your.
This
This
was
was
I
supposed to
talked
be your.
longer.
to be Chauncey's solo Sunday.
it's
But
supposed to be
we're
our
here
solo
to
Sunday
help her.
thing, but
Hoping
you
you
know
learn how
what?
to talk.
I talked a lot in the beginning, all by my lonesome.
Well, that's not the point. Is that
I'm
you
You're
getting
know,
good. You
better.
don't go a
Well,
half
no,
hour
yeah.
in your recap.
I'm
but
getting
it feels
better.
good.
I'm getting
You are.
better.
It just needs to be unprompted. Is the crux.
Yeah, that sucks, but I'm getting better.
Obviously, let us know what you think of the comments below. Is she getting better?
Is she getting better?
Any
Does she talk
veteran
at
F1
all?
video watchers out there?
I'm getting better.
Or does she big nerd and focus in?
Ah!
I didn't wee woo, son of a bitch! I told you.
Oh, no!
I was-
And I
I
looked
was-
down at the mini map, and then I missed it.
The one time I'm banking on RuneScape, you had to be taking the turn.
I looked down at the mini map, and I missed
Rob,
it.
I
And now
almost want you to
launches
start
on my
like
foot.
recording your RuneScape just so I can have it in the corner of the video. See what you're doing.
I should be doing something super fucking intense and being like, listen.
So the chicanes, those are interesting. Now you're just like beating the game.
And I'm meanwhile doing like the hardest shit you can do. I could do it. I mean, I could do like a raid or something and just like while we do that, because the raid's about an hour long to do if I do it by myself.
Did you know that the Singapore Grand Prix was the very first F1 night race?
I didn't.
Did not.
Isn't that like a
What an
fun
interesting
fact? That's a fun fact.
Yeah,
the
but
very
you
first
should
one.
stay on the track, Miss 6 Seconds.
God.
Was this the track that Max Verstappen was like sick on, and they were saying it was like the lights in his helmet or something?
No, that was over in the Middle East. Either
That was Abu Dhabi.
Azerbaijan. How did where did they come
The
from?
Middle East?
Oh, they DTS your ass.
DRS? Yeah, they
Or
just
whatever.
I can't believe they just did that.
The SMD? What?
They bondage sex.
Oh,
Wee woo! It's not the right one,
They-
but it's a minor
So
wee woo.
they BDS'd you? What? What's happening over there? I don't know. I never played this game.
Weird
I don't know
race.
sports.
No wonder you asked me to get a race car bed for our anniversary. I don't know what's going on.
True, dude. I had to get one of those.
That's what I
That's what we're talking about.
oh, 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 oh,
I got a Red Bull helmet and a race car bed, and
Tell you, every time I don't wee woo,
I would like a Max
activate
Verstappen helmet.
activate
That would be
DRS.
pretty awesome.
If you what? A Max Verstappen
No,
helmet?
babe. The helmet
That'd be
stays
pretty
on
awesome.
during sex.
Like one of his mini helmets.
One of his helmet. Yeah, and then we'll get a headboard so you can wear it for protection.
You guys
my
will just
God.
headbutt each other during banging.
But wait, I need a helmet. Well, hold up. I don't want a Perez helmet.
Well, Somebody's got to be the bottom.
What if they kick in the max revs?
Oh my gosh.
Well, then put it on her.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do I care?
What would you do with a Max Verstappen helmet, anyways?
It's a mini helmet, and I would display it.
Oh, mini helmet.
Yeah.
Why is he like Tom Cruise size? It's just too small for no more humans.
it's life size. Is there a height requirement for F1 drivers?
I don't think so.
Or a maximum?
I mean, they do like to pick like shorter people because like.
Well, that's
they
the same
weigh
thing
less.
with those bastards that drive the horses. They always want like a dwarf running around on their damn horse.
I'm going to pass you, Alonso. Yeah, they want like a smaller person because then it like they don't weigh as much in the car.
Well, yeah, when you got the 98 pounds running around on a freight train, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Well, and like every little bit of weight counts on an F1 car.
So Rob, they weigh the drivers before and after.
Yeah, I'm
Make
sure.
sure they didn't like suddenly like lose a ton of weight.
Well, but listen, how you gonna blame a man for shitting his pants mid-race?
Oh my gosh.
If it's an epic race, I mean, man shits his pants. Like, I mean, it's a 2-pounder and you've been holding it all day because you're nervous. I mean, I get it. We've been there.
Some say you might be doing it right now.
I mean, some say that's why I don't sit in a chair. I just perpetually have a bucket I sit on.
Oh my
Just sit
god.
on a bedpan or squat the whole time.
I sit on a bucket that I've literally just drilled the toilet seat onto.
Jesus Christ! A fucking artwork picture of Max Verstappen is $1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, when he's a good boy.
A 1 in 8 scale
Well,
model of the 2021 car is 10 grand. A 1 in 8, 10 grand.
Well, 1 in 8, that's kind of big.
It is kind of.
I don't see that is pretty big. A 1 in
Let's say
4
1 to-
scale of the 2022 is $36,000.
Yeah, dude, 1 in 4, that's like a 5-foot car.
I know it is. It's like, that is the car bed. You can hollow it out, and we can make a car bed of his actual model
And you
car
could
from
stick a
2022.
small Oompa Loompa in there, and he could drive it around like a real boy.
Oh my god, I'm not
Hand
gonna
embellished
pass Alonso.
canvas
I'm
by Paul
not
On's
gonna-
picture.
Oh shit, you got a famous boy cutting up your canvas. You know it's gonna be expensive.
You want an official
Oh
replica
my
front
God,
wing and
Piastri's
nose
on
for
my
37
butt,
grand.
and then this is my bad quarter. This is my bad quarter. Oh,
Well,
I
at least
did
you
it, I
know
did
it
I
now,
did
and you found it. Thank God.
I found it. It's
See,
right
you said
after
you
the...
wee-wooed yourself. It's been remedied.
It's right after. It's after the bridge. I
All
just
is
had to
right
learn-
in the world.
I just had to learn a marker for it.
Thank God you have 4 laps left.
You know, these guys put like hours and hours on like the simulator, like practicing these maps, like before.
Well, when you get paid to do nothing else, I mean, you really got nothing else to do.
I mean,
God damn it. Can't find anywhere in America that's how the replica of his helmet. I have to
We're
pay
not American
69.
enough.
I have to say 64 pounds. And they don't even
Dude,
use
64
decimal
that's a
points, they
lot.
use commas, so it looks like 64 grand for a tiny helmet.
Dude, 64 pounds is a lot, though.
there's
Yeah,
a
it
lot.
is. That's like $80
Or a
Yeah.
hat.
for a 1 in 4 Max Verstappen helmet for 2023 on a little podium.
Why would they want the
The
1
1
in
in
4?
2 is
like,
164.
You
But
can't.
it's a helmet. You can't even put it on.
You don't. You
No,
can't.
you
You
can't
can't
put it
get
on.
like. You can't
You
get
could put it
a
on your
full-size-
dog.
Like Amazon only has fucking Lewis Hamilton.
That's because nobody else wants Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, they're all he keeps buying them all himself.
Yeah.
This
He's
is the
just in
Max
corner.
Verstappen fucking
Oh.
store. This turned into weird conversation on this video, but I like it.
Oh, I mean, it's gonna be something other than
Ah,
other than
I
wee woo and her
took out
fucking up the
Alonso.
turn.
I I missed it, but I took out Alonso.
Well, no, you just kind of used him to turn.
Alonso's still there.
Oh.
It's like falling onto a person, but not falling anymore. Okay, well.
No, Piastri, no!
You deserve that.
Kind of do the way I used
Literally,
Alonso.
I wish there was car damage. Your car would be fucked.
It would be.
Like, I wish there
Is
was
there a
car,
setting
like,
to turn
because
that
you know,
on?
well, when you play like NASCAR and stuff, like the NASCAR games, you have car damage, and your car progressively drives like shit. Like the more you you hit the wall and stuff.
I think there's like a way to turn on car damage, but I haven't figured it out.
Oh, dude, you need to turn that shit on because this would be a way shorter video.
Yes. I would have gotten off like 20 minutes ago, but I really want to finish. I'm so fucking close. Just want to finish it. And then I've got shit to do.
I get you a Funko Pop of Max Verstappen.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have a confession time. Fuck Funko Pops. What a trash can brand. Literally, there's no way they got literally every single like copyright, trademark to everything in existence, and they were like, you know what we're gonna do? Make them look all as minimally like their character as possible, blocky as fuck, and look like shit.
Wait,
and everybody loves them.
There'll be Funko Pops of us. We'll be so big.
Oh, I would literally refuse the brand deal. Like I refuse to be Funko Pop. I refuse just as it let it be known now. Like I won't.
The guys from
refuse
EFAP
to be a
just did
trash
their
can.
own vinyl figure Funko Pop knockoff.
Yeah, I
So
know.
awful.
It can't happen. If we make our own, that's fine, but I can't go through Funko Pop. Like I have to have more detail in my face than a square
vinyl figure,
trash
but it's
can.
just not Funko Pop. Got it. Well, they do
'cause
end up
they
in the
put-
dumpster a lot.
Well, because they put zero effort into them. They're all basically 90% of them are the same exact base head and body.
The face,
yeah. The only thing that changes is literally either what they wear or like a little horn
And the
or a
hair.
fang here and there. Like that's just they don't change almost anything on all of the Funko Pops, minus very specific nuanced things that are almost negligible. And that's why I hate them, because people buy the shit out of them. And they look
They
like
do.
shit.
There's entire conventions. It's just Funko
Like,
Pop.
and they love them. Like, you could buy literally action figures that are detailed and look good, but no, you want this Minecraft-looking piece of shit. Anyway, call me Funko Pops. We'll sponsor you.
Yeah, they pay me enough money. I will absolutely shill for Funko Pop. That's fine.
Ah!
That's fine. This
I'm
channel will
9
never be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legend, by the way.
Oh, Jesus. What's up, gamers?
F1 brought to you by Raid Shadow Legend, which I'm surprised is not on one of the cars by now. Chauncey, could you see it?
Just
See
like
it right there on the
YouTube
Halo,
brand car.
and only in the F1 games, not in the actual like F1 cars. There's just Raid
That'd
Shadow
be
Legend
worse.
right there next to Oracle.
It's like all
Absolute
of those
worst.
bullshit games that like just suck.
There's a
It's
lot
like
of
the
them.
Raid Shadow Legends. It's like Idle Gold Miner. It's like Casual Clash.
And that's what they call it in-house. It's just idle. We get cash.
It's Lottery Money Getter Type 2.
Yeah, it's just boost them to level 15 and then keep asking for $1 to get more crystals.
It's like you played the first 5 minutes of the tutorial. Now you have to pay to actually start.
Yeah. Raid Shadow. Ah!
Swampy and the Swifty.
This last lap, can you do it? Can you keep it? Can this be the first race that you win in one of
Holy,
these
you put too much
recordings?
pressure
I'm
on
not-
her now.
I'm not gonna win it because I got that 9-second time penalty, and I mean, like, I'm trying to
9
But
second.
distance
Yo, that bitch is. She's
between me
Also,
and
you're gonna get
Jasper.
fifth. You're gonna. You're gonna get the actual Max Verstappen position.
Well, I don't know. I'm increasing my time between me and Piastri. Holy fuck, I'm doing okay right now!
You really need to get 9 in front of Piastri?
Maybe. I just made like 4 seconds in half of the lap.
He's back down to 3. He's catching up.
He's gotta slow down on these turns.
That's what I say. You're gonna be right behind Stroll. You keep cutting corners.
Fuck.
We won!
I should have wee-wooed. I had to let it happen, though. I'm sorry. I knew she was going to forget, like always.
Great fucks, though. It was such great fucks, though.
It was replaced with something better, I will not lie.
Yeah. That was the most emotion and passion behind fucks that we've heard in any recording. He's cared about this one the most.
Which is very sad.
So, I'm doing really okay right now.
Meanwhile,
You're
she's
not
got
gonna get first.
Meanwhile, she's got It the dog and Remnant that she hasn't named.
Wait, what?
I said you're over here sweating and sticking to your chair in this game, and you got It the dog and Remnant 2.
Yeah, in your 5th.
Hit.
Just like the real
Driver
Max.
of the day, though. I got driver of the day. I came up to first.
You're
like
always
3
driver of
times.
the day.
Yeah, you came
How
up the
much you
first a
spit
bunch
out.
because you cut a lot of corners. So,
Hey,
that's how
North
that
did
works.
it. North did it in virtual. Oh no, Piastri.
No, it was Oscar. Piastri. His teammate.
Yo, I'll take one of your donuts, boy.
Yeah, celebration. Woo, he did it. Good job. Wait, you gonna close this
Hi,
out?
everybody.
Or do you wanna watch?
That's it. Thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. Tell us how you like it, what you want us to do different, how it's all going.
She's gonna cut it off early because she's not on the podium.
See you next time.